I'm making this video in response to something that just came out on News Junkie today, alleging that I've engaged in some kind of racial slurs. Nothing could be further from the truth, and I have a short statement I want to read. But before I do that, I would like to thank News Junkie sincerely for bringing this story to the front page of their website, because I've received numerous calls and emails from individuals who tell me they're happy to vote for me because I'm the anti-terrorist sheriff. Now, on to my message. I will not apologize for a comment that lampoons terrorists and the way they look. Anyone can go back and research this online and find endless photographs of real terrorists and see how they appear. My comment did not malign or mention any religion, country, or culture. In fact, there are terrorists all over the world from many different religions, cultures, and countries. By the way, I despise all terrorists, including the former members of the Red Brigade in Europe, the Irish Republican Army in Ireland, as well as Bernardine Dorn and William Ayres of the Weather Underground, both prominent Democrats, by the way. Now, I would like to take your attention to some charts I have prepared. The first chart that I want you to look at is a vertical bar line chart that has these progressively larger blue towers moving from left to right. And these represent the actual budget dollars in the Jefferson County Sheriff's budget, representing the years 2003 to the present year, 2010. If you'll notice, the Sheriff's Department budget actually started off about $6.9 million, and it now is over $12 million. And what no one sees in this escalating budget is the fact that despite receiving a $1.63 million grant from the Department of Homeland Security, which the sheriff, in his own words, says helps to pay for overtime, we still have this massive increase in this year's budget despite the big infusion of cash. Not only that, but the sheriff has come back to the county legislature and asked for even more money. And when you put the $12.5 million together with the $1.6 million and the $800,000 requested increase, we're looking at close to $15 million in expenditures by the sheriff. I have to ask you a question. Do you believe that this is representative of the way we should be spending our money in today's economy? Tax dollars are tax dollars. They come out of your pocket. They come out of my pocket. It's not monopoly money, and politicians don't get to spend it any way that they want to. Now, I'm going to direct your attention to another chart. This other chart is a chart which indicates the level of service provided by the various police departments in Jefferson County, which include the County Sheriff's Department, the City of Watertown Police Department, and the State Police. And this covers a period from 2005 through 2009, the year for which the last statistics were available. These charts, these graphs, represent what are known as index crimes. Index crimes consist of violent crimes and property crimes, and they're reported to the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services, and the fact on these charts comes from their statistics, not mine. When we look at the chart itself, the tall, purple-looking towers are the actual crime level in Jefferson County, the total number of reported index crime in each of the years. When we look at the green bars represent the contribution by the Watertown City Police Department. The red bars go to the contribution from the New York State Police in Jefferson County alone. And the blue bars represent the contribution from the Sheriff's Department. If you look at this chart, you'll notice that the blue bars representing the contribution from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department is in a state of decline. The numbers get lower in terms of their response to index crimes in the county, while in the same years, the cost begins to escalate. The overall cost since 2003 to 2010 is $5.5 million more than the first year in the sheriff's term. And that amounts to a 78.8% increase, annualized at about 10%. Even if you allow for inflation, and even if you're willing to accept there has to be programmed increases in the budget to allow for salary increases and other contractual obligations, there's still a lot of fat in this budget that can't be explained away. Particularly, I don't see anywhere on the graph for the budget that indicates where the $1.63 million went and why such a large infusion of cash in a previous year did not result in a reduction for the sheriff's budget request in the next year. Neither does it explain that last year the inflation rate was minus 0.34%. So that means that the budget theoretically should have gone down by 0.34%. I'll let you be the judge of that. I want to address something else that was in the report by News Junkie on their website today, and that is a claim by the reporter who wrote the article that I described myself as a trained counterterrorism instructor. In fact, I am a trained counterterrorism instructor, trained by the United States Department of Justice and Louisiana State University. And oh, by the way, I have my training certificates right here, which not only include that particular course, but as well the Counterterrorism Executive Training Seminar at the State Police Academy in Albany, and Anti-Terrorism Officer Level 1 and Level 2 certification. I'll be more than glad to share these documents with anyone from the media who actually is concerned enough to want to see them. I'd like to touch upon another subject, and that is something that was also covered in today's News Junkie article. Sheriff John Burns, back in 2007, stated that he was in favor of supporting then Governor Eliot Spitzer's plan to issue driver's licenses to illegal aliens across the state of New York. And he stated that he did so because the wives of soldiers who were deployed would not be able to go to the store to buy necessities. And he was quoted today as saying, if they are, meaning soldiers, deployed and end up getting married, come back here and get redeployed, then their wife may be sitting here without the license and can't go to get their needs. Well, first of all, nobody should drive without a driver's license, that's obvious. But Sheriff Burns apparently does not know that having an illegal alien spouse in the armed forces is inconsistent with current law, military law and federal law. There's something called the Defense Entitlement Eligibility Reporting System, or DEERS. And in order for any military spouse to derive any benefits from the government or be recognized as a spouse, which deals with the eligibility to live in family quarters, the availability to travel on government aircraft or to be moved overseas with their sponsor during permanent change of station, comes down to the fact that you can't be an illegal alien and be in DEERS, and you have to be command sponsored in order to get married to a soldier. Again, this shows how little Sheriff Burns knows about federal law and military law, and the more he opens his mouth about this, the better I look. Thank you, Sheriff Burns. I'd like you to know who I am as a candidate. First of all, I'm a retired federal law enforcement officer who was the chief of police at 2 major military installations in the eastern United States. I'm a college graduate with a criminal justice degree from SUNY, and I have been in the military for many of my adult years. I have served my nation with pride and distinction, and I'm very proud of who I am. I recognize myself as a clear-cut choice, and I make a vow to the voters of Jefferson County to save them money. I'm the better candidate. I would like to make mention of the fact that I am a military veteran who's very proud of his many years of service to his nation. I have taken the oath of office as a military member a total of 11 times in my lifetime. My military career spans the years 1968 to 2009, 41 years. And I did serve on active duty in one capacity or another in the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, and the millennial years, being called back 2 times since my active duty back in the 60s and 70s for Operation Desert Storm and the global war on terror. I'm sure that when you take a look at the photograph that appears on the screen now that shows you something about my military history, you can probably appreciate that I have developed a sense of leadership because I have been a good follower and a good leader as a non-commissioned officer and a career military person. I think that in a county that has 20,000 soldiers, it's extremely important that the sheriff can relate to those people who defend us on a daily basis. I am proud to be the anti-terrorist candidate, and I ask for your support. Thank you.